Estonia is known as one of the most advanced digital societies in the world. 99% of public services available online. So that's quite an achievement. Can you talk us a bit through what are the key success factors that you have in your service excellence delivery, and how are you dealing with this today?
Yes, thank you very much. If I'm not famous, definitely Estonia is, as you mentioned that, and I have to a little bit correct you, because we actually achieved a really big milestone at the end of the last year. Now, actually, Estonia has 100% of government services online.
Wow.
You can even now marry online, and jokingly, if you want, you can file for a divorce. Those were the last two were remaining. Now 100% of governmental services in Estonia are online. And e-governance is not the goal itself, to be honest. As you mentioned, we definitely have to see what we have to offer for the public. For us, because Estonia is quite small in population, only 1.3 million people, for us, e-services, first of all, it's cost-effective. Secondly, it's transparent, because people can see how the services are acting. The data, of course, has to be secured. And for us, it has been a necessity, as I mentioned. We see a potential in different new e-services coming up, and actually people are more interacting with the public sector, and that's how actually new innovation can thrive.
Thank you. No, it's impressive. So, want to remember, it's not 99%, it's 100%.
Now it's
that's an important percent. I can
as I
imagine.
know, we're the first and still only country. I'm hoping that other governments will come forward with that as well.
Absolutely, probably many have that as an ambition. And if we cross the sea from Estonia, we come to Finland, and Finland is also ranked top 10 in the digital e-government index over the last 10 years. And you, Anna-Kaisa, you've been in this for a number of years. Can you share the story about this from a Finnish perspective? What are you kind of doing? And how are you maintaining this success?
Thank you. I would say that Finland really is a high-tech country in many ways, and we have profiled the services very high in this sentence. And how we have come here, I think we have always been hungry for development. And this is not only about technology, but hungry to develop also the services and the governance. So there has been a long history. Ever since 1940s, in the Ministry of Finances, we have had this department of developing the governance and the administration. So that probably tells the story that we have done a very long-term job to get here where we are today. But looking at the history, I would say when it comes to technology, we started with these e-services, then moved to the digitalization, and now I think our discussion and the development work is guided very strongly along with artificial intelligence. So the time changes and the issues change that we work on, and always still I think it's important to know that we are not doing this only for technology or technology due to technology, but technology to make the services better for people and to make them more efficient and to get all the use out of it. And that's why I think it's also important to do cooperations, have the customers along, have the companions along, and make it all together. So yes, I think it's about passion to develop and good cooperation. That's how we have come where we are today.
Thank you, and I think many should listen to both of you. That you have achieved great results, and are kind of landmark for many governments out there. Your Excellency, Mr. Medvedev, in Azerbaijan, you have the ASEAN service model, and this is also celebrated as a global benchmark for integrated citizen services. What are the key factors behind its success, and how has it maintained its impact and recognition for being innovative over time?
Thank you very much. I would like to extend my gratitude to the government of United Arab Emirates for hosting World Government Summit. This is the very good opportunity for us to share and learn best practices, to discuss challenges and their solutions. As we look to the future, we understand the crucial role of integrated public services in building efficient, transparent, and responsive governments. In this context, the Azerbaijani Asan service model stands out as a global benchmark, demonstrating how modern technology and citizen-centric design can effectively revolutionize public service delivery as a whole. And the remarkable success of Asan service is a result of several key factors that have contributed to its continued recognition as an innovative and effective model. First, the integration of services has played a significant role. By unifying various government services under one roof and integrating them into the one-stop shop platform, Asan service has eliminated much of the bureaucracy and complexity in public sector. Citizens no longer have to visit multiple offices or deal with unnecessary delays. Moreover, technology and innovation are playing an essential role in the overall work of Asan service. Through the use of advanced digital tools, Asan has standardized service delivery processes, reduced errors, and enhanced transparency. The integration of digital services has empowered citizens, making government interactions more accessible and user-friendly. Equally important is a citizen-centric approach. By prioritizing convenience, swiftness, and accountability, Asan service has created an environment where citizens feel respected and valued. This approach not only improves service delivery, but also strengthens the relationship between government and the public, fostering greater trust in public institutions. Asan service is a two-time winner of the United Nations Awards. In addition to this, during the 10th World Government Summit in Dubai, Asan service received the title of Best Government Service Award. Now, this concept is being replicated in more than 20 countries in Europe, America, Asia, and in Africa. In conclusion, Asan's success is a result of its integrated services, innovative use of technology, citizen-centered approach, transparency, and continuous improvement, and the supporting of leadership and the political will. I think that all these factors is a key for Asan's success.
Thank you. It's very inspiring to listen, and there are some elements you talk about that we'll come a bit back to as well as we continue the questions in the panel here. So over to the UAE, and thank you very much for hosting us for this great event. So, Your Excellency, in your capacity, you've managed lots of bold, innovative government initiatives over the past decades. How does the UAE government continue to successfully adopt agile practices and at the same time remain efficient, modernized, and adaptable in this rapidly changing global environment?
Well, thank you, first of all, for being here with us at the World Government Summit. And I want to be thankful for being such a great panel with esteemed cases from all over the world that we always learn from. UAE has not been shy of bold initiatives. For the past 30 years, we've been looking at how can we always improve our public sector reform? How can we be more efficient? But I think the question that we want to change is not about how can we be more efficient, how can we provide better for our people and our residents? And I think that's the main ethos of what we're doing. It's not efficiency and cutting costs for the sake of it. It is for the betterment of the people that live here and call it its home. And we've been going through a nice, amazing journey of public sector reform, from starting with quality and excellence as the heart, and then moving on to bringing customer sector service excellence there, to actually launching a center of government innovation that is dedicated to just fostering the culture of innovation in the public sector, and that was over a decade ago, to accelerating speed, to multiple different ideas, and also sandboxing regulations. And over the years, what we've learned is that the standard of excellence and the bar of expectations continuously rises. And what we thought was amazing today, tomorrow is a completely different definition of standards. And that's what keeps our jobs interesting. We're not bureaucrats, as Professor Schwab said this morning. We are architects of governance. And I think the key thing here that makes our jobs interesting in the UAE is that we have visionary leaders that continuously push us to do better. And if you allow me, I'd like to say, what are the 5 key ingredients that we look at continuously? The first one is that we need to have a clear vision and a clear strategy. It's not okay to just randomly do projects. We need to understand where we're going and where is the North Star. And with agility and efficiency, that is equally important. We have, by default, in multiple vision documents that we've had, our centennial plan to be the best government in the world, to also our current vision document. Government excellence and government service efficiency is at the heart of it. Digital transformation is at the heart of it as well. But the second more important thing is our obsession with measurement and data and targets and understanding, gauging where we are. So if we are doing amazing in something, do we continuously do that, or do we become more agile to what's happening around us? AI is one thing that taught us is that we can't be very rigid in the way we plan. We have to be resilient enough as a nation to absorb anything. But with targets, we are fortunate that we are ranked the first in over 223 global indices. But more importantly is when it comes to transparency in government, trust in government, data, excellence, services, bureaucracy, we're at the top 10. And this is something that we're super proud of. And how do we continuously maintain that as well? But it's not just about global ranking. What we do really well here is that we rank ourselves. So 2 days ago, His Highness announced the top 3 government entities who had done the most in cutting bureaucracy and the worst 3 as well. So we are very transparent in where we're doing in terms of our progress of efficiency as well. And when you read that tweet, 8 million people are reading that, it sort of put you on the edge, but also allows you to do, okay, how can we do better? How do we come out of that segment and join the other group? The more importantly is the people. Capacity building capability, the mindset. Because it's so good to have great ideas, great targets, amazing programs, but if the rallying around of people are not with you, then you have a program that doesn't have the people behind it. So a lot of effort over the years has gone to actually building capacity in the public sector, be it from chief innovation officers in every government entity, to delivery catalysts, to service agents, to multiple different groups of individuals who are pioneering and shifting the gauge in this. But we also want to train as much as possible. 55,000 of our government employees are regularly engaged in a JAHIS platform that inspires them with new concepts that comes our way. So if we're going to introduce a new program such as bureaucracy, we need every single government employee to know about it. We need them to be excited about it. We need them to have the right tools as well. And I think the fourth main thing is to do with, and I know we're not talking about IT, but we cannot ignore the fact that the tremendous value that technology has provided in our jobs. It has made things that we used to find difficult possible. So it's not just a matter of moving our services to the digital world, but it's how do we also not move the bureaucracy with it as well? How do we not have digital bureaucracy? So there's a different conversation that we're having now as well. But at the same time, how do we leverage AI to disrupt things that we take for granted? We have the UAE Pass, like multiple countries around here as well, that does username and passwords. You can do that anywhere in the world. 9 million people have downloaded that. In fact, it's the 10th most famous app in the UAE. But we also have programs such as the digital identity. We can't take those programs for granted. That's where you leverage AI and IT and technology to make transformative disruptions to improve in agility.
Thank you very much. Very inspiring. And you all point that it's putting the citizen first. It's not about bureaucracy, it's removing bureaucracy, we'll come a bit back to that, and it's through people and technology. So it's not technology alone, it's a means to drive what we want to have, better citizen experiences. But Erkki, to maintain this high level of services to the citizens, you have to have some kind of way to monitor progress, etc. How do you do that in Estonia, and how are you able to use that in getting even better?
Yeah, that's really correctly said, that when we're talking about these services, e-government, the focus has to be on the citizen. It has to be people or citizen-centric. You can be a student, you can be a mother, father, you can be an employee or an employer, or you're a new business owner who wants different services. And all those kind of services actually have to be really about them, about the centric of their needs, because technology is an enabler. And what we do, we always want to get as much feedback as possible. People who use those services can get feedback. We are monitoring how the systems are being used. Of course, we're doing a lot of collaboration and cooperation with private partners, because most of the Estonian IT systems, government systems, have been built by private and public partnership. So usually the governments, we are a little bit more conservative, to be honest. The technology innovation develops much faster than usually legislation. So what we want to give is to give the framework where actually new ideas, innovative ideas can thrive. In the previous panels, there was a lot of discussions about sandboxes, how we can do the legal framework and everything. So for us, as a government, we are always looking for the best practices, but at the same time, because at some cases we are a little bit ahead of other governments, so we always have to think outside of the box, so to say, because we don't have anywhere to copy. So we always, that's why we're always trying to cooperate with the private sector, because they are usually more, their ideas are more, even more into the future than usually the governments.
Thanks. Very insightful, I think. Anna-Kaisa, one question I have to you is, many governments have challenges in coordinating operational efficiency, particularly with the collaboration between regional, local, and central government entities. Is that the case also in Finland? And if it is, what are you doing to cope with that?
I think the most important thing is to have a common direction, so that everybody is aiming to the same direction, and that we have this strategic approach. And in Finland, we have this digital compass. It's a strategic map, roadmap till the year 2030 that we follow. It includes competence, it includes digital infrastructure, it includes the businesses, how to have them along, and then also how to develop the public services along. So it's a very holistic, strategic approach that we follow together. So that's one of the strong things. Another thing is that this human-centric approach that we discussed here already, that everyone is committed to it. And if I take an example of the renewal work that we are right now doing on the live event-based digitalization, and there are various situations where a transition to something new occurs. A baby is born, or you're getting married or divorced, or setting up a business, things like this that happen to any single person or to a business. And how do we digitalize these services and make it easy for people to act with the public sector? And at the moment, for example, we are easing the management of the affairs of a deceased relative. So digitalizing these and doing this joint development with openness, cooperation, listening, transparency, and involving the customers here in the work as well. And another example I have to take from the city level. Before becoming the minister, I used to work as the mayor of one of the biggest cities in Finland, the city of Tampere. And over there, we did this development on smart cities, on data-driven cities. Right now, they are developing this cityverse, like, you know, the metaverse thinking. And this kind of work also includes, like Erkki said, from Estonia, it is about taking the private sector as well along, thinking of the city as a platform for innovation. And all the development projects that you have, having them as platforms where you take not just the governments, but you take along the businesses, the universities, the citizens, and also the international partners. I think I also want to thank our hosts. This is a wonderful possibility to also exchange and find the best ideas. So it is sometimes it was said that concentration will lead to the best results. I would say that this is not the case. It's important to have a shared vision, but also to give room to the local innovations for sharing ideas and then scale up the best ones. So that's how we get to the best results.
Thank you very much. So we have time for one more question, and Your Excellency, I'll ask you, and you probably have to answer quite briefly, but long before all the hype around government, efficiency, long before the DOGE was initiated in the US, the UAE actually launched the Zero Government Bureaucracy Program. I mean, can you briefly tell us what this is? And also, we know that you're about to release some of the first, results of where you are. So, really interested in that.
So, as I said, this isn't a sudden thing. It's a build-up of multiple other initiatives. But the Zero Government Bureaucracy Program was announced the end of last year by His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the Prime Minister and Vice President, Prime Minister and Ruler of Dubai. And really, it's simple. He wanted the whole of government to cut 2,000 government procedures, half the time of doing any transaction by 50%, and eliminate all redundant requests. And it was a whole of government approach. It was a national movement. We didn't select few entities. We asked everybody to participate. And as a result of that, we developed a detailed methodology and framework. Key things is that collaboration. You need to hear from the businesses and the people what is their priority, because we don't want you to just cut nice and easy things. We want you to go for the high priority ones that will give the biggest impact. We also wanted to ensure that the value creation is there, because I think the key thing is bureaucracy is what determines when talent chooses a country to live in, when investments choose which country to invest in. So it's critical and it's very important for us. Yesterday we awarded the best teams, because the key thing is that this is driven by it's top-down national movement, but the people that worked on it were the government employees, and it's the teams that collaborated together. So we awarded those that give the highest impact in economy. The tax won that. The most impact when it comes to humanitarian community, the one that worked on the housing plans won that. We looked at areas about the most innovative areas. We have a digital smart consular services in South Korea, so the Ministry of Foreign Affairs won that. But we also wanted to take out humanitarian exercise, so people went over and beyond to cut red tape to address this. It was a large amount, 7 million dirhams, 1 million for each government team, because we believe they deserved it, because we believe bureaucracy is the trigger to change people's lives and improve it. And the key thing here is, and I mentioned about the ranking is just to show that it's based on multiple areas. Have you collaborated with government entities? It's not about you just cutting your own stuff. The customer doesn't see the government entity. The customer sees the experience. So we want to encourage a lot of that things. We worked a lot with the Chambers of Commerce. They identified the high priority areas. And I think the key thing for us is it's just the beginning. It's the first year. And we celebrated the outcomes of it here in the World Government Summit. I want to let you know that actually we didn't just cut 2,000, we cut 4,000 of our government procedures, so they doubled in reality. But we also didn't just half the timeline, we actually reached 60% of that timeline as well.
Wow. That's truly a great achievement. So thank you for sharing that. Thank you, dear panel. You represent all governments and countries who've done a lot in this space. I'm pretty sure that you will be approached by many who would want to talk to you more. Thank you very much. I loved the phrase, we're not bureaucrats, we are architects. I think we should reflect on that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.